Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kajal and today I'm going to deal with one of the most important topics of the subject literary moments. If you are in Punjab University, then this subject is in your first semester and the second semester also. But this particular topic, which is the challenge of literary moments, it's in your first semester in your first unit. And if you are in some other university, then also for the subject of literary moments, this topic is very important. It is an essay written by Francis Jost. The name of the essay is The Challenge of Literary Moments. So, if this question appears in your exam, and if you are a Punjab University student, then definitely this question will be there in your exam because in Unit 1 there are only two topics. There are two essays, and there is an internal choice. So, obviously, one question will be from this essay, and the other question will be from the other essay related to periodization. So, coming to how you should be writing your answer, I have prepared my own notes which I'm sharing with you. So, firstly, you should start your answer with the introduction. In the introduction part, you should be explaining first of all what are literary moments. Moments are like labels attached to certain writers or text by literary critics and literary historians for the sake of efficiency and a better understanding of the text. Famous literary critic Chris Simensky writes in the foreword to his Literary Moments for Students that organization of text in terms of literary moments provide the readers with a foot in the door to ensure better understanding of the text by the reader. It is important to note that the critic, however, mentioned that it is one of the ways to read literature and not the only way. सो लिटरेरी मोमेंट्स बेसिकली क्या होते हैं, कुछ टाइटल्स या कुछ लेबल्स होते हैं जो अटैच किए जाते हैं किसी राइटर या किसी टेक्स्ट के साथ. एंड हु अटैचेस दीज लेबल्स? लिटरेरी क्रिटिक्स एंड लिटरेरी हिस्टोरियंस. वाई दीज लेबल्स आर अटैच टू सर्टेन राइटर्स? वो इसलिए ताकि उनको एक पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप का या पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट का पार्ट मानकर हम उस टाइम पे जब ये टेक्स्ट लिखा गया उसकी सोशल, पॉलिटिकल और ओवरऑल एक जो सिचुएशन है, जो टेंडेंसीज हैं उस टाइम की, उनको समझें ताकि वो टेक्स्ट हमें बेटर समझ में आए. सो जो क्रिटिक हैं क्रिस सिमेंस्की, उन्होंने भी अपनी जो एक उनका वर्क है लिटरेरी मोमेंट्स फॉर स्टूडेंट्स, उसमें क्लियरली मेंशन किया है कि इट प्रोवाइड्स द रीडर्स विद अ फुट इन द डोर. जैसे कि हम एंटर कर जाते हैं इन द द वर्ल्ड ऑफ द राइटर in an imaginary way if we understand the socio-economic and political and overall condition of that time or that that era from which the writer belongs. So literary moments जो हैं उसमें टेक्स्ट को, डिफरेंट टेक्स्ट को एंड डिफरेंट राइटर्स को डिवाइड करके पढ़ना कैन बी वेरी यूजफुल फॉर द रीडर्स ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर. बट Chris Simensky has also mentioned that it is one of the ways to read literature and not the only way. So, coming to the next point, it is one of the most important lines of this essay by Francis Jost that literary moments follows the moment of life. Literature is the record of various dynamic aspects of life and nature, and moment or change is basic aspect of life. Thus, the literature is an expression of moment of life. So, literary moments thus follow the moment of life. Sometimes the question comes over this line also, right? But anyhow, as we have to attempt a long answer type question, I'm telling you all the important things and like how you should be dealing with your answer, what all you should be including in your long answer type question. So 15 to 18 marks question if it's there, so you should include all the important points of the essay. So I again repeat, you have to first of all give the introduction about what are literary moments, then come to this point that literature follows the moment of life, thus literary moments follow the moment of life. Then you should be writing about the next part of the essay, which is literary moments and identifying challenges in their study. The essay begins with an investigation into the transformation of one moment into another, which involves a change in the tendencies, social, cultural, political, of the periods associated with the moments. Moments such as classicism, Renaissance, neoclassicism, and Romanticism, all with their individual features or tendencies, contributed to the progress of literature. For example, Renaissance is associated with rebirth and revival of learning and is also associated with struggle between the spiritual and the secular. सो दिस इज़ हाउ यू शुड बी एक्सप्लेनिंग कि जो लिटरेरी मोमेंट्स हैं उनको स्टडी करने में क्या बेसिक चैलेंजेस आते हैं, बिकॉज दिस essay is about the challenges of literary moments. So these are the challenges that all the literary moments like classicism, Renaissance, neoclassicism, and all of them have their own individual characteristics or their individual tendencies as far as their social, cultural, and political time period is concerned. So we have used an example of Renaissance, that which are the basic tendencies in that period or in that moment. It is rebirth and revival of learning, and also the struggle between the spiritual and the secular. Okay, coming to the next part, now you should be telling what is literature according to Jost. According to Jost, he has explained literature in terms of, first of all, aesthetics. Jost clarifies that literature, like any other art form such as painting or sculpture, is concerned with the aesthetics, which means an artistic expression of creation or appreciation of beauty. Then he further adds that literature, while focusing on a man, is neither just artistic expression, nor criticism, nor sociology or philosophy, but a joint comprehensive worldview, which he has termed as Weltan Chuang. I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing this word correctly, which means a comprehensive theory of world and humanity's place in it. So according to Jost, अगर हम what is literature की बात करते हैं, तो literature according to Jost is aesthetics first of all, and then it is this overall world view of humanity, of the world and humanity's place in it, which is termed as Voltaire Chuang, or I don't know the pronunciation exactly, but these two terms, aesthetics and this one, is very important. You must include it in your answer. So then the next thing is, you can divide your essay in like 5 parts. So the first part of the essay deals with evolution and metamorphosis of literary moments. Metamorphosis of literary moments means the process of transformation from one moment to another. As the socio-cultural aspect of the society keeps on changing, its literature keeps on changing accordingly, and over a vast period of time, it changes significantly to bring a change in literary moments. Point number B, Jost stated that classicism continues to be a yardstick of all literatures. Then one more important point, which is point number C of part 1 of this essay, is Jost makes a very seminal means strongly influential statement at the end of the part 1 of the essay. For a moment is the expression of a certain way of life, and life is movement. And there is this last D part. In study of literary moments, there needs to be a reconciliation between the subject and styles, which means Gehalt and Gestalt, where Gestalt means Gehalt means subject or content, and Gestalt means style or form of writing. So according to Jost, content is, or the subject is, very important, and also the style in which it is written. So this is about the first part of the essay. Then part 2 of the essay talks about sustainability of moments. First part, as told about how one moment, shifts from one, there is a shift from one moment to another moment. Part 2 deals with the sustainability of movement, how one moment sustains for a long period of time. Jost firmly states that for a moment to sustain, both content, subject, and style are important. Jost affirms that writers following the principle of art for art's sake belong to the aesthetic school and not a literary school. The only exception is of creator creating out of nothing is that of Yehovah or God. He added that style cannot exist on its own, it is a dress of ideas or thoughts. He emphasized that a poet who speaks without a message to be delivered is nothing but a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. So, here, what the writer is telling is if your content or your idea or your thought or your subject is not really good, you as a writer cannot sustain for a long period of time. No moment can sustain for a long period of time if in that moment the writers uh, of the literature, they are not focusing on the subject, they are just focusing on the style of writing or the art of writing, which people sometimes calls let's appreciate art for art's sake. So Jost believes that they belong to aesthetic school, artistic school obviously, but not to the literary school. A person belonging to the literary school should be focusing on both style as well as the subject, both uh, the form in which the literature is written as well as the content of the subject. So he has used such words like the style is just the dress for the idea. So dress needs to be on the body of the idea and it cannot survive without its own. Only God can create things out of nothing. Otherwise, if we as human beings are creating some text, there should be meaningful text with some context, with some ideas and thoughts, not just the style or art. Okay, then moving to part 3, which deals with overemphasis on form. Again, it is kind of extension of part 2. In part 2, Jost is telling about how a moment sustains, and in part 3, it talks about the contemporary writers of that time maybe were overemphasizing on the form and he did not like it. So he has mentioned in the third part of the essay, the critique laments, that means feel sad about, that literature has been reduced to mere form or that of style and techniques are being given more importance than content. Thought and form are equal in order of time, but as far as the origin is concerned, it is the thought of idea which comes before the form or style. And he has also given reference to another important writer of his era, Horace. It is Horace who mentions in Ars Poetica that poetry must be pleasant and profitable, both enjoyable and instructive. So, here also in third part, the writer of this essay, Francis Jost, is emphasizing that there should not be overemphasis on the form or the style or the technique of writing. Poetry, as mentioned by Horace, is should be pleasant as well as profitable. It should be enjoyable as well as instructive. It should give a good message to the readers. Because if in the last part, in part 2, as Jost has mentioned, that if there is overemphasis on just the form, then it is not serving any purpose. There should be a message for the readers to be delivered by the text. If there is no message and it is just for the art's sake, it is just like a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. It is also one of the most important lines of this essay, which means it's just like a sounding brass. जैसे ब्रास का कुछ कंटेनर हो या कुछ भी हो, एक बार को उसको अगर हम टच करेंगे ज़ोर से तो वो टिंकलिंग साउंड होगा एंड इट डजंट हैव एनी सिग्निफिकेंस, एनी हाउ इट्स नॉट गिविंग एनी मैसेज. सो if there is a text or a poetry and we listen to it and we read it, we just feel good at that time, like you listen to a good sound. But after that, if it doesn't leave any message in your brains, that it serves not a good purpose, according to Jost. Then part 4 of the essay, it deals with fragmentation of moments, paves way for evolution of literary history. You can write like by fragmenting the history of literature and philosophy, theorists have contributed to the acceleration of history as a whole. There are some splinter groups or various isms also which contributes to the moment of life, literature as well as history. Then there is part 4, which is the concluding part of the essay. In this part, Jost had made many important statements, and there are these two most important statements. First one is literature is static only in the short span of time needed for the reading of one single work. Otherwise, it is always and always dynamic in long run. The second important concluding statement by Jost is the literary moments are always studied in a comparative manner while comparing one moment with moments preceding it and with the moments preceding it. So basically, according to Jost, literature is almost always dynamic in long run. It is static only while reading of that one particular text. Whatever time is required for reading of that particular text, it is static at only that time. Otherwise, in long run, literature is always and always dynamic. And also, literature is always studied in a comparative manner. Literary moments, especially, are studied in comparative manners, just like comparing one moment with the moment जो उससे पहले थी या जो उसके बाद थी. So this is about this essay. I again repeat, you need to include all these important things, give introduction about literary moments, then tell about something about one of the most important statements of this essay in the introductory part. Literary moments follow the moment of life. Then tell about literary moments and the challenges in the and identifying the challenges in their study. Then what is literature according to Jost? Then tell about the 5 parts. Here, I also want to clarify one thing, that Jost never divided his essay in 5 parts, but for the sake of convenience of understanding, we as readers can read the entire essay by dividing it into 5 parts, because these are the 5 major things of concern which Jost has dealt with in his essay. So that's all. And this is how I attempted my answer by after referring to the actual text of the essay written by Jost, and also going through many reference books and the best material possible I could generate, and I assembled it and I organized it and I used it for myself, and also I'm sharing it for you people. If you are watching my video, I'm sure you must be doing MA English, so, and you must be having your exam. So this is exactly how you can attempt your answer in a really, really impressive manner. That's all from my end. If you like my video and my content, you can like my video, and also you can subscribe to my channel, because I'll keep on posting other videos related to MA English content. So that's all from my end. Thank you. All the best for your exam.